Jesse, congrats. You're through to the final. Just your thoughts on your win here today.
Really happy to be through, to another final for the year. A good win today, another good week to start my hardcourt season. So just lots of positives to take. But always happy to be in another final. When you get a chance to win a tournament, it's always a good week.
Questions?
Congratulations. You seem to have a slow start in the first set. How were you able to turn things around?
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit slow. I felt like it was much more humid today. Felt like I wasn't moving up to the ball quite as well as I did the day before when it was a little hotter and faster and maybe a little bit more dry. So I just felt like I had to adjust a bit to the conditions and her ball. Luckily, was able to do that and come back in the first set. But I mean, it was only one break, so I was confident that I just had to keep holding on to my serve. And I think once I finally held. I just, finally got some momentum going, was able to hang on to that pretty much for the rest of the match.
Just one other question. I know that after the match you were hitting some. Is that the norm? Do you typically do that after a match?
Sometimes when there's just a couple things that I feel like I can work on or clean up. And, I always ask my coach, do you think it's worth it or not? Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But today he was like, yeah, let's go for 20, 30 minutes, whatever, and just see if you can find a couple things that you were maybe not feeling great at during the match. So that's what we did. Yeah.
Hey, Jess, well done. So looking back in 2019, I think it was your first title. I'm curious, I was looking at the draw and some of the players that you had to play. I'm curious, how much of a big breakthrough at the time was that, tournament for you? And I guess in hindsight, how much do you look back on that, tournament? Obviously you have a chance tomorrow to win, here again.
From when I first won?
Yeah, 2019.
Yeah, that week, I think I've said before, was just kind of the monkey off my back, finally winning a pro title, not just on the WTA tour, but on even ITF level Challenger Tour. It was my first professional singles title, so finally getting through that and being able to play a really good match against, a really good player at the time was Camilla Giorgi, which I don't think I was expected to win that match, and to win pretty, I think, decisively as well. I remember playing a great final. I played really, really well, and was able to handle my nerves and all these other emotions I had going on. So it was a great week for me. It was when I just started working with David Witt as well, and then we went on to have a really great 5-year relationship and partnership. And that was really what kick-started it. I mean, I'd only worked with him for maybe 4 days before that tournament that week. And sometimes that happens with new coaches and stuff like that. We see it happen, fairly often. But I think it was a really nice kick to kickstart off our relationship, and we were able to do so much just building off of that first week. And so I'm not sure if that week didn't happen, who knows where we would have ended up or where I would have ended up. But gave me so much confidence that I could, win titles at this level and on tour. And to be back, I know now probably a tougher tournament now than it was back then, but just to be able to come back from 2019, now we're in 2026, and I'm still able to put myself in a position to win this tournament again. Not only this tournament again, but also a bigger tournament with a deeper draw, I would say, and better players. It's pretty cool, I think, when I can look at it from that perspective.
Hey, Jess, after some struggles in your first match against Magdalena in the first set serving, your first serve percentage has been over 60% in 4 of the 6 sets since. Just how have you been able to establish more consistency in your first serve, and how key has that been for you to make this run?
Yeah, I think going after my spots, I think sometimes when I'm serving, I serve my best, at least lately, when I feel like I'm playing a game with it, in my head. It's not just going up and hitting a serve. It's, okay, what serve doesn't she like? Where do I feel like she's leaning? Where do I feel like she's going? And I think just trusting that I have a lot of different serves now, and I can use that to my advantage. I think I did that really well today. I don't think necessarily I served that great, but I do think my second serve was good. I think I was able to change up my second serve from the start of the match, where she was attacking it a lot, and kind of hit different spots and different speeds. And I think just, again, mix it up and kind of trust it in the big moments has seemed to be what has helped me the most, not just this week, but in the last, few months and this year. But I think I just like to play a game kind of in my head with my serve and just not be afraid to go after it. And I think at the end of the day, you just have to trust it.
Speaking of serving, Alex Eala has a serve that sometimes goes really slow, like some of the slowest speeds you'll ever see at this level, like in the 60s and 70s, but players don't seem to be able to really punish her for it that much. I'm curious for you, how are you thinking about returning? I'm talking more about the matchup too, but just particularly that. Just I've seen a few players in the last month or so just not being able to take advantage of a shot that might seem like it would be attackable on paper.
I think her serve's gotten a little bit better since when I last played her. I know it's something she's working on, of course. One, I think it helps that she's lefty. I think lefties are definitely, no offense to lefties, but they can get away with a little bit more because we're just not used to seeing the ball coming in that direction as often. And I think you see that with a lot of different lefties on tour. I mean, Manarino, I feel like he just kind of like throws it in there. He can still hit his serve, but like throws it in there. I'm not sure if a person that's right-handed would be able to get away with it that much. So I do think they can use that to their advantage. And I think with her, it stays so low. It's hard to attack. Like, I think if you put her, like, it'd be interesting if she plays mixed doubles. Like, I don't think guys are going to like returning her serve. There's no space to like actually do anything with it. So sometimes you feel like you're just starting the point. It's hard to I remember in Miami, I just didn't know, like, should I go for it more? Because then I feel like I'm possibly giving her free points off of that serve, or do I kind of just start the point? But you really have to use your legs and kind of get up and trust it. But that's why it can be so tricky. I mean, it stays very low, especially on more of a hard court, which I think she's probably better on a hard court or grass court, where it's very hard to attack. I mean, the ball's kind of below the net and you're having to hit up on the ball. And anytime you have to do that, it can be really tricky.
Hi, Jess. I don't know how much you hear this while you're on court, but I'm interested to get your take. In the crowd during that match, for example, and I'm sure it's happened in other tournaments, there's a lot of coaching happening from the fans, like a lot of specific, like, do this, do that, other than just like go Jessie or anything like that. Are you hearing any of that, or do you sort of like ears closed?
Probably not as much as you are hearing. What do people say?
Also, I mean, everything.
Really?
Like,
I mean, that doesn't surprise me. But
everything from like, hey, Jessie, go Jessie, to like, you know, hit her to her forehand, or like better serving. Or I was very struck by how specific some of them got.
Everyone's a coach from the sidelines, you know? I've been there. But I think I hear some stuff filters in, and usually I do hear like like hit an ace, or like hit to her forehand, or hit a serve, or like make your first serve. I feel a lot of stuff about the serve, maybe more often. I mean, I don't know. I'm like, dude, I'm trying. I would love to be able to just make my first serve or hit an ace every single time. So I think I just kind of hear it and filter it and kind of laugh, like, oh, like, well, yeah, great. We're on the same page. But I don't think there's anything that's ever been like a bad advice, because it's usually something very obvious, like hit a winner, hit this, like why aren't you like whatever? And I'm like, yeah, like I would love to do that, but you know, easier said than done.
And Jesse, you often speak of being an American, playing in America. You're the American #1. You're in the nation's capital. The crowd that awaits tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm feeling I'm not. I don't think I'm going to be the favorite. I don't know.
What do you anticipate from that? And I'm curious what you make of kind of the phenomenon that has developed with the following.
It's crazy. I mean, there's like people out there like just all waiting for her. I mean, I think it's awesome for the sport. I think it's really cool. I think we've seen that similar to Fonseca. I think it's amazing. I mean, she's able to draw these crowds, and it's not even like she's the #1 seed yet or like a top 5 player, and she's able to bring all these people in to watch her matches. And I've seen it at all the tournaments we've been at this year. She's usually on a bigger court because they have to put her on a bigger court. You usually hear the crowd from every single court that you're on around her. I remember in Dubai, I could hear it from my hotel room because it's very close to the courts there. So I think it's awesome. I mean, any way to get people into tennis. I remember when we had her on our podcast, we had so many Filipino fans. And then like the one girl, Des Kravchuk, is also half Filipino. And they were like, oh my God, Des is Filipino. And then she got like all of these followers just because they were Filipino fans. So I think it's really cool when you can outreach a group of people, especially that might not be super into tennis. I think it's really neat. I mean, it'll be tough. I remember in Miami, this was like before she was really like, people knew her as much. I'm assuming tomorrow is probably going to be worse. I don't know if there's more Filipino here compared to Miami, but Miami, I was just like, who are these people? Like, what is going on? Like, I'm an American. I'm in Miami Open. We're in the semis. Like, I live in South Florida, and I was just like, where are these people coming from? Like, I don't understand. Like, I was just so confused, and now obviously looking back, like, it's gotten even crazier, and it makes complete sense now, but I just remember being in that match and just being like, where do all of these fans come from? Like, I don't understand what's happening. Now it's like every week it seems to be like that. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'll do my best. Hopefully I can still get some American fans behind me.
Great job today, Jessica. What do you remember about beating Alex in Miami, and what are you going to take from that win, perhaps to use tomorrow?
Well, I think I'm a little bit, I mean, now obviously she's played much more matches on tour. I think everyone has a little bit more of a grip of how she plays. I think for me, I had no idea how she played when I went in there to that match. No idea how she served. So I think I'll just be a little bit more open-minded to that. It probably helps that I played a lefty today. Hopefully that helps. We'll see. I think just used to the serve a little bit, used to the spin being in the opposite direction. But I mean, I've been watching her for the last, ever since Miami. Obviously, she's been doing really well, and she's gotten a lot better too as a player and become more experienced. So she's been playing some really good tennis. I mean, I think there's some things that I'm going to try and implement. I'm not sure it's going to work. I don't know if I can execute it, but I mean, there's definitely some things, and I do think I'm playing a little bit better than when I played her in Miami, but at the same time, I think she's playing better too. So we'll see what happens. I'm not sure, but I think she's a great competitor, and I think she's a good player, and yeah, it's going to be very tough.
Did you get to watch a couple of points maybe of her match with Naomi?
I was watching, not really. I saw maybe like a first few points, but then I wasn't able to be by the TV.
And finally, how are you, I guess you're ready for the Filipino crowd tomorrow,
Yeah.
and how are you going to lock in and just, like, what's going to be your mindset?
I don't know. I'm just going to do what I usually do, which is pretty much tune everybody out and just try to enjoy the atmosphere, though. I do think maybe having her on the podcast, they'll be a little bit nicer to me. Like, maybe I gained a little bit of Filipino love, so I'll try to use that to my advantage.
I'm curious from a sort of tour architecture committee member type thing, when there is a new phenomenon like Alex who pops up on the map in a country that hasn't really been at all part of the tennis landscape previously, how much do you think the tour can and should, adjust their sails to sort of get these new wins and put bigger tournaments in the Philippines than might have been there otherwise and stuff? I'm just curious from your tennis business mind, how the WDA can make the most of this very clear phenomenon.
I mean, I don't know if we should go to the Philippines. I don't know what they would be able to do. She'd be like, would they even be able to play the match? Like, she'd have to be like helicoptered, like dropped onto the court and like lifted out. Because it seems like she gets big enough following everywhere else. I couldn't even imagine. I think she did play though the 125, right? Yeah. I think it's just, I think it's opening up a different pathway for possibly having a bigger event there, or seeing if the 125 eventually grows to a bigger tournament. I think you're always kind of looking at that. Like, I mean, I think we kind of saw that with Chin Wen, like being so big in China, like how many tennis fans came out of that and her winning the gold medal, and like the craziness she experiences during like Beijing and Wuhan and all the other tournaments. I think it's just one of those things that has to play out, just because there's not any weeks for that to happen right now. So we'll just kind of have to see what fits into the calendar as things, hopefully get better or change throughout the next couple years. I don't see it happening right away. But like, for instance, having the tournament in Greece was really cool. And I know Maria Sakkari like really pushed for that because she knew people wanted to have an event there. But again, was kind of in a tough week because there's not a lot of weeks left for us to have tournaments. So I think it just depends on a lot of those factors, unfortunately. But I think it would be amazing because, like we've seen, I mean, she has a huge following everywhere, and I think if the event got bigger, it would just do really good things for all the fans there and continue to grow the sport around the world.